Actually, yes, it was a super huge mistake. You released the source code for this abomination. I very, very much underestimated those gummies. You're a new meme, new channel. We're responding to angriest comments. So the overall purpose of this stream, pull back the curtain on what's happening with the code and show off how the reinforcement learning AIs have come to be. And it's really simple. So here's my desktop, a few options, but I've chosen to train demo men. We have to get it started because it just kind of takes a while to run. So here's the process. I start this TF2 dedicated server that starts my source mod enabled server with everything I need on it. And then I'm also going to launch TF2. We sit and wait for all 32 bots to join the server. This is our custom training map, just nice and flat, pretty mountains. Once we have everyone joined in, I'm going to run things from this Python console. So we have all 32 bots in the server. And now all I have to do is run this command. It just says Python, run this Python file. We're going to set the number of agents, save some stuff under the right name, and then this is all we need. So basically this Python communicated between, this is the source mod server, the bots will start their random training routine 100 times, completely random, and that's to warm up the network. The only problem is it takes a long ass time to run. So it's on trial number 10 right now. It's got to run 100 times just to finish the random, and then it's got to run another 1100 times or so to finish this training run. Hopefully by the end of this we have some working demo men. I've actually not tested the demo men yet. Whenever this gets to trial 100, then it'll start actually learning, so we'll try to check back in. So what's kind of next up the pipeline? The answer is yes, I want to do all of it to everything, but we have to kind of build it up incrementally. Work on it a little bit each week, have something new to show off. Here you can see the trainer just finished the random steps, and now they're acting very strange because this is like baby's first steps basically. So the first trial they just stood still. The second trial they walked to the left. Now they're starting to walk in different directions, which means they're starting to learn from localized data. Would it hurt if you sped it up like 10 times? The hard limit in source is host timescale 2, that's twice the speed. But what we would do to speed this up, only 32 bots are running right now, and the hard limit of players in TF2 is 100. So it is technically possible to triple the speed, filling that out to, it would be 98 bots. In practice, it's a little bit more difficult because more bots means more lag, which means you need a faster server. The CPU speed on the server matters a lot. There's also issues like object limit, but that's the theoretical limit. 2x timescale, 98 bots per server. And then you would just have to start spinning up more servers, having a good, reliable way to collect all that data. So there is lots of optimization, but it's unfortunately not as simple as just going 10x speed. The technology is just kind of slow. So you can see there's some explosions. Not a ton, but it's chugging along. It's learning. So given that context, we're gonna go through the comments. It's nice for me to kind of get an idea of what you guys want to see. That's what it's all about. Starting the saga with this video. This is like my first foray into building reinforcement learning. The task it's trained to do is just single action. Can you hit the flying soldier? Let's read what my haters think. You're gonna be seeing this a lot. A lot of people, for whatever reason, believe that I look like Mr. Beast. I mean, we both have mustaches and we're both white guys. He's got a dark mustache. I've got a blonde mustache. It's different. It's blonde. Okay, here we go. Angry guy detected. Do not. How did he, wait, I didn't realize you could do formatting in YouTube comments. He bolded and italicized it. How do you do that? Imagine being this mad, but then still taking the time to format it. I'm not gonna fault this person too much because they care about TF2 and they're not like insulting me. Oh my, there's more. Holy shit, they had a full-on Twitter moment. I get that you're probably a midwit, kind of a legendary insult. You're not even noteworthy enough to be fully stupid. Middling intelligence. Kind of love that. This guy's right, but he's being a huge dick. I love the internet. This would be cool if we weren't having bot issues. Don't give those fuckers ideas. Yeah, I mean, this is an opinion I hear all the time. I'm not just gonna be like, you're wrong, I'm right. It's like, yeah, I recognize that this is a potential downside, giving them ideas or whatever, but like, what is the purpose of the griefer bots? They wanna annoy people, they wanna kill people. There's no more efficient way to kill people than just instant headshots. So it would only be making it less annoying and more fun to fight against, you know? One of the overarching things about angry comments is that people do like to take very like black and white takes, but I try not to do that. Yeah, and you know, it's trauma, and that trauma is legit. Like, everyone is completely within their rights to feel how they feel about AI. I love TF2. I hated that it was getting so shit on by these bots. So that's real. The thing is, you have to blame the right source though. And I think maybe this is part of a larger conversation too, but like, people are like, I hate AI, I hate AI. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't hate AI as a concept. You hate that corporations are using it to suck like all the joy out of life and all the money out of the middle class. Like, let's blame the right thing here, because AI, as much as it is used to shovel slop, who's actually perpetrating that? Not me. I'm using AI to do cool ass shit like rocket jump. Guys, it's really important work that I'm working on here. We're getting them to speed shot. It's a common opinion, and I think it's like they're gonna try to fuck people over no matter what. And I don't see how this helps them when they can already just instantly kill people and hack. Okay, there you go. That's video number 1. Unfortunately, there were unhinged comments that I remember deleting because they were just so like schizo uncomfortable to read, basically. So I kind of wish I hadn't, now that I'm doing this. That was the real unhinged shit. So this next video in this series, AI learns to rocket jump, and in it I basically scale up what we saw from the last video. Actually, speaking of, let's see how our demo men are doing. Kind of doing okay. They PB'd relatively recently. I can definitely see that they're better. They're mostly looking towards each other, and you can see they're missing a lot, but they're generally pointed at each other. It means it is learning. Clearly it's still quite stupid. It's also aiming too low, I think. I wonder if that's something I did. Anyway, top comments. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll basically start with the good stuff and then work our way down to the dregs of society. I think the problem is you design the model poorly. It would make more sense to let them know the map exists. Yeah, not technically wrong, but you're also ignoring the amount of work that it'll take. It's one of the bigger technical challenges, is how do we take a map and bake it down into an input that isn't ridiculous. So this guy compliments me. Adding citations, good for you. And this guy goes out of his way to at this guy and say, actually I checked. Actually I checked. And no, all the music is in there. I hate robots. I like this guy's comment. If they never figure out what set of nodes activating at the right time improves the reward function, they'll never try repeating it, so they could stumble into it a few times but not get enough reward from doing it poorly. It's the ultimate blind maze game. Excellent comment. Good job. Plenty of people were like, oh, you just suck at reinforcement learning. It doesn't actually suck. You just suck. It's like, bro, you don't even know. Can't wait to get market gardened in the next spot wave. Can only hope so. Literally the first thought, here we go. We're finally getting the more feisty commenters. Everyone's been so positive. Why the hell are you not punishing the bots for shooting rockets that do not propel them whatsoever? I mean, you could punish them, and what would happen is you're essentially punishing them for shooting rockets, period. And if they're getting punished for shooting rockets and they never see that shooting rockets in the right place is good, it'll be disincentivized to even try. Classic example of people trying to make it sound simple without actually knowing what the fuck the dynamics are. So yeah, you could do that. And in fact, I actually did a version of my code where there was a propulsion bonus. And honestly, surprisingly, because I actually thought it would work, it really didn't help the training much. If you think about how it's being applied, basically it's like jolting the reward. The algorithm doesn't really understand how to get over that spike. Because you can do this, but you have to design the reward well. And that's actually not as simple as one would hope. More people than I expected were like, holy crap, you made a AI that can rocket jump better than I ever can. I'll be honest, it makes me a little sad. Because it's like, first of all, this guy's not good. This Frederick Bozo is not that good at rocket jumping, okay? He's fucking stupid. I pretty much guarantee that anyone who's played TF2 before could learn to rocket jump and beat those levels faster than Francis can learn, even with all of his, you know, robot advantages. So yeah, I don't know, I guess I just believe in yourself, people. See, this guy gets it. AI will never replace pro rocket jumpers. Probably not. I worked with RL before and it's so annoying. True. That is fact checked by Real American Patriots. And I already see the problem with your method. There's like 20 different ways you could reward the bots, like max height. So why did you choose go up? Just read this again with me, okay? 20 different ways you could reward the bots, like max height. So why did you choose go up? Going up as in a height value. It's almost like that's exactly what I did reward the bots with. What are you talking about? And why does this get 15 upvotes? I don't understand it. You're fucking AI hallucinating in real life. You're doing the ChatGPT thing, but you're a human. That's embarrassing, bro. If you guys want to see what a properly AI trained entity can do, so he's throwing shade. What about my AI is not properly trained? Maybe he didn't go to an Ivy League school, but he learned stuff. He's proper. If you guys want to see a properly trained AI, but he's talking about something that's not even machine learning. In my unprofessional opinion, you need to tune the genetic part of the algorithm. Stop. There is no genetic part of the algorithm. You're thinking of a genetic algorithm. In fact, you're thinking of a genetic algorithm. This is reinforcement learning. The former is pretty much just glorified brute force learning. Then people freaked out because I guess they thought that I was equating all of evolution to raw brute force, which honestly it is. But it works because it's trillions of organisms or quadrillions, I don't know how many. I don't work with AI, but here's my AI opinion. Now, but this guy's right. I like these comments where people are just kind of putting their thoughts down and reasoning through it. Because this is kind of how I get a sense for how people interpret my video. Not give necessary inputs, necessary spelled incorrectly. Why stupid robot no work? I take exception to this, not give necessary inputs. Again, deciding which inputs need to go in is more of an art than a science at this point. And I'm not saying I'm an artist, but I'm certainly not a scientist. The only thing really missing is just the map geometry. But that was kind of the fun of it too, is like that other commenter said, ultimate blind maze game. Let's check in on our training robot. He's PB'd actually this frame, so that's good. That means he's continuing to learn. It looks like he's hitting more pills on target now. A few more explosions. It's not hitting every shot yet, but even when it's done all 100, it'll still be a quarter of the time that I trained Francis. Seeing how much tweaking it takes for the bots to work, it makes you think about how impressive the human brain is. Yeah, I wish more people saw this and felt this way, because the human brain really is like so fucking impressive. We're so much smarter than these robots. That's why I hate when people are like, oh, it's better than me. It's better than I could ever be. I'm like, that's just not true. You just don't care enough to practice rocket jumping. That's not a can't, that's a won't. Intuition really is the key. Facts. The fact that effectively none of the stated issues would show up for a genetic algorithm shows how much better they are. Holy shit, we've reached peak delusion, everybody. None of the stated issues would show up for a genetic algorithm. Let me stop you right there. What's the number one issue? Speed. Speed of the computation, speed of the convergence. Guess what? Genetic algorithm is so much worse. Reinforcement learning converges so quick. Genetic algorithm does not even guarantee that it's going to converge. I've used a genetic algorithm. In fact, this video, can AI beat me in my own game? This is genetic algorithm, and it's basically dog shit. Like, you can see from the thumbnail a little bit, the goal of the game is shooting a bow and arrow, and basically the genetic algorithm would just random number generate, and then whichever one of the creatures got closest was just like, that's the right one, good job. It's not even comparable. That was another kind of common theme. I had a lot of people in these comments confidently talking about how I should do this, but they're talking about genetic algorithm stuff, talking about, oh, save the best generation. It's like, brother, there are no generations. It's a tensor. It's a network. There's no creature. Probably my next big video is going to be directly comparing reinforcement learning, genetic algorithm, and one more secret one. This video explained AI in 5 minutes better than teacher at my university did in 2 years. Hell yeah. That's awesome. That might be my favorite comment. Again, there are 1,000 comments here, so I'm skimming through. I'm looking just for the interesting ones. Oh, here we go. You know it's going to be a good comment when someone starts with technically. Technically, it's still discrete as you are still dealing with bits, and floating point numbers still have fixed steps of incrementation because of this. Continuous would only work when you're using an analog computer. Wow. This guy went all in just to like not even be correct. Technically, floating point numbers increment. That doesn't suddenly change the way this reinforcement learning algorithm, which is a continuous valued algorithm, doesn't suddenly change that to discrete. The way they work from a reinforcement learning standpoint is still completely different. He's doing the Jimmy Neutron thing. Hold on.
Salt. Yeah, that's what I said.
No, dude. You said
No,
sodium
dude.
chloride. This isn't even just sodium chloride.
What is this overlay?
Within
The
iodized
fucking
table
traffic?
salt includes anti-caking agents and potassium iodide. So not only are you being overly pretentious by insisting on using scientific terminology, you're just factually wrong.
You get the idea. I was promised my angriest commentators. Where are they? Everyone's being so wholesome. So maybe there's a reason why you haven't done it. I don't know what that reason would be, but I would think this issue would be relatively easily fixed. If you were simply to give it eyes, that would help. Yeah, man, if I just could give it eyes like that, I'm sure that would help. It could just have a human eyes and then, I don't know, some way to process that visual signal, maybe like a human brain too, and all the synapses. It probably would be way better. I never thought about that. I'm currently watching this while training a reinforcement level bot to play single player Diablo 2. Decent success, but sometimes it feels like there's no rhyme or reason to what the fuck the bot is doing or learning. Yup. The amount of architectures I've tried purely relies on vision is insane. I still could not really tell you how a training room would perform if I changed stuff. Yeah, shout out to this guy. I could tell all the people who have actually tried reinforcement learning are all just like, yeah, it fucking sucks. Every single one of them is like, yeah, this shit is fucking annoying. And then all the people who don't know anything about reinforcement learning are like, it's really simple. You just need to do this in the reward term. AI doesn't suck. Your parameters do. I mean, suck is a relative term because it's better than a genetic algorithm, but it's still sucks to use even if you are an AI engineer, and that doesn't change no matter how much better you get it, because guess what? It's a black box. You give it the best possible parameters, it'll still find every way possible to fail before it succeeds. I would love to see an AI expert's take on what sort of techniques can be used to improve the performance of this AI. Haven't you been reading these comments? Everyone and their mother is an AI expert. PPO is much more stable. Better use PPO. PPO is state of the art. Listen, man, I tried PPO. PPO is more stable. You don't get that for free. Like, I think the biggest thing people don't understand is that every action has a trade-off. There's not just to like, oh, just make it better and it'll be better. Like, you can up to a certain point, but past that point of performance, you're giving up something else. So for PPO, what it trades off for that stability is it learns way fucking slower. Nothing exists in a vacuum. You have to consider the advantages and disadvantages. In any case, I tried PPO and it was just way worse. Pre-train them with videos from the internet. Con networks are slow, but not that slow, and use PPO for FS. Yeah, again, I just explained why PPO is way slower. He's like, yeah, it's not that slow. Just fucking build an entirely new network, entirely new training. Also download all the TF2 videos from the internet and bin them for quality, and then train your AI on it. No, I don't think I want to do that, actually. Someone's trying to ask me out in the fucking comments. This AI looks more like an overcomplicated search algorithm. Yeah, no, it's a search algorithm. That's the main problem that RL runs into. It's like that fucking astronaut meme. What do you mean it's all exploration versus exploitation? And the other astronaut with the gun always has been. It is all the way down, bucko. RL is so inherently stupid. I don't see any real application for it that would be achieved more efficiently in any other way. I think the consensus is, in terms of actual useful practical stuff, that it can do end to end. I think it's just robotics, but it's a universal function approximator. You can really just use it to attach anything to anything else. Efficiently, maybe not, but it works. I do not understand why you decided to slap on an arbitrary timeline for your project. With a little patience, you could have produced better results. Listen, man, it took me 6 months to develop, not including the 6 months for the development for the previous video. Like, yes, the results will continue to get better, but how much better? Is it worth it? You have no way of knowing. Tried implementing ML agents in my own game and failed spectacularly. Takes ages, it's very unpredictable, and I could have programmed it in about 20 lines of code. Yeah, man, story of my life. That's the truth behind reinforcement learning. It is cool, but if you know enough about your problem to know what kind of behavior you want, 99 times out of 100, it's worth it just to directly code that behavior than try to write this like reward function that is one step removed from that. You're just adding complication for the sake of science, which is fine. Science is cool. For actual practical stuff, RL is not quite there yet. The takeaway that reinforcement learning sucks is insane. You had all kinds of skill issues throughout this video. Honestly, this guy's not even like wrong. It's just he's so mad for no reason. Again, the reason I think RL sucks is because it's not user-friendly at all. Everything that is a skill issue is also something that is not intuitive for users. So that's why it sucks, not because of the results, but because of how difficult it is to get the results that I got. Oh, that's it. This is the bottom of the comments. Oh, same guy. One comment wasn't enough for him. He's also mad about me saying, it's a bit disingenuous to say AI can only beat humans through sheer brute force. You probably took 14 to 16 years of compute power. Is he talking about my brain? He's saying my brain needs 14 to 16 years of compute power to rocket jump? Bro, what? I had like 3,000 hours in TF2. That's, off the top of my head, that's 100. It's like 4 years at most. Like, your math's not even right. You're exaggerating just to make yourself sound smarter. You're just looking for reasons to be mad, bro. I still stand by this statement. AI can only beat humans through sheer brute force. I will add a caveat. They can also beat humans from just robotic execution, and also if the game has some sort of loophole that is discovered by robots or only accessible to robots, it can also beat humans like that. But in an apples to apples comparison where there's not an inherent advantage, it really needs brute force. It's not even close. It's not even 1% there. So it's a bit disingenuous to write this comment. That's all the comments on this video. Let's check on our bot. Okay, we're on epoch 80 or so. You can see it is still steadily improving. It PB'd in trial 858, and currently it's on 963. So that's pretty normal. The bots, they never improve in a straight line, nor would you want them to, because if they're just improving on a straight line, again, there's that tension between more variety in experience and therefore richer data to pull from, or do you want hyper focus and improving, but giving up that variety, which could, and in lots of cases does, negatively impact the long-term learning. So it's all a balancing act. And in fact, you can see it just PB'd in trial 983 and it's on 994 right now. It's improving faster and faster. My latest and possibly most controversial video, and if you haven't seen it, you're missing out, by the way, but the concept was I adapted my rocket jumping AI to fight against itself in a 1v1. I also released the code to my Patreon members. So that's what this video is about. It's mostly showing people fighting it at open source, which was a lot of fun, and then talking about kind of the bigger picture of like, why am I releasing this code, even though there is a chance for abuse. My most requested matchup is Soldier versus Pyro. That one's a little bit more complicated because for that to be a fun evolution to watch, you want them to be able to delay their shooting, because if both of them are updating at the same exact time, the Pyro is always going to air blast and the Soldier's never going to get anything done. Air strafing, literally none of them did air strafe. Yeah, this is probably my biggest regret about this video, because this is like the most obvious thing that I wasn't able to fix before getting to open source. You know, I want to see it too. I'm a TF2 fan as well. Air strafing's part of the game, and yeah, we'll cover it in a future video. This is the first ever video I watched while high. I very, very much underestimated those gummies. Oh, my sweet summer child. Oh, buddy. I mean, I like the content I create. I don't know if I would have recommended watching this your first time getting slammed on weed gummies. That is really funny. Shout out to that guy. ML researcher, great work. Curious if you could reduce the field to a stationary plane between the AI and target. We don't need 3 dimensions. These are the kind of comments that these are the most dangerous type of comments, because it's someone who has experience. They're establishing that they know some of what they're talking about, but then I don't think they actually know what they're talking about, because we do need 3 dimensions. We need 3 dimensions, bro. They can go in the air. This video is like 80% air shots, bro. How do you think we get air shots if we just ignore one of the dimensions? This guy is suggesting exactly what I'm doing now, but with more steps. Instead of having a 3rd dimension, put it into a separate info, then tool it back into 3D space. Why? For what purpose? AI isn't going anywhere. That's gonna age badly. I think this comment's gonna age badly, bro. I don't know where AI is gonna go, but I don't think it's going away. Demoman next would be cool. Hey, at Gus Birdie, your dream has come true. Oh, it's done. So it's final PB 23 trials ago. So pretty recent. So that's good. It's clearly improving. It just needs more time. Francis doesn't aimbot. He can still miss due to human unpredictability. Yeah, in fact, it doesn't even need human unpredictability. He just misses plenty of times, even in the footage in this video. He's just like aiming completely somewhere else for a shot and then snaps back. He's far from perfect. And in fact, the closer you get to perfection, the more hours and training and processing power it takes just to move that slightly little bit higher. It never quite gets to 100%. This is another fun one. So it would be cool, like the idea of having perfectly trained bot A versus perfectly trained bot B, and do like a real quote unquote unbiased like tier list. That would be cool. Now in practice, there's always going to be a bias. There's always going to be something until we're using actual, you know, human eyeballs and human brains to learn. There's always going to be a difference. So you release the source code for this abomination. These bots are harder to detect since they don't use cheats. And they're also worse at cheating because they don't use cheats. Like, yeah, I know. None of these AI projects are really impressive to me, considering OpenAI had a way crazier project for Dota 2 back in 2018 with 5 independent AI modules working together with people being pros. Yeah, man. And back in 2019, they were worth $1 billion. They trained their shit for 45,000 years. It was like 200 years per day of training. Like, I hope their shit got good, bro. I fucking hope so. God, I love AI. I fucking hate AI. We must be getting to the bottom of the comments now because they're all getting more unhinged. Saying it doesn't cheat while saying it needs its own server to be able to read memory is one semantic swindle to start the adventure with. What are you talking about? I literally said it does cheat. Oh no, here we go. I didn't see this. He doubled down. Saying absolutely no hacks was gymnastics to make it sound better than what it is, man. It is absolutely a hack. LOL. What? It's not a hack. Hold on. What is a hack? Definition. Hack. It's about gaining unauthorized access to data in a system. Now tell me, a legal mod gets authorized access. You're saying that's a hack. And then 4 people upvoted it. Who is upvoting this? This person's just inventing things to be angry about. Saying I wasn't upfront about calling it a hack. It's not a hack. It's authorized. That's what makes it a server mod and not a fucking hack that pulls data from the client side. Every day I'm just astounded by the depth of stupidity people will drop themselves to act like they're winning an online argument. It's so ridiculous. Actually, yes, it was a super huge mistake because not only it was highly foolish for you to release the source code, it was highly foolish of me. Great. The next generation of bots are going to be even more insufferable thanks to this dingus. We know who to put to the pyre when this gets out of hand. That's right. Can't wait for this shit to go full French Revolution. So mad about intelligent bots that they're gonna fucking guillotine me. Again, I think the core assumption of all these comments is the same. They're not gonna be more insufferable. They're gonna be worse at being insufferable, which means they're going to be more sufferable. Anything better than instant death is an improvement, I would say. I sure hope you didn't just ruin TF2 forever. You guys know the comment meta? You know, like Veritasium, where they like put someone's comment in the thumbnail. Someone will comment like, oh my God, this needs to be shown in schools and to preschoolers and everyone needs to see this video. Like and subscribe twice so the algorithm knows. I should just do that for my video. I should change the thumbnail to, I sure hope you didn't just ruin TF2 forever. I bet that would get lots of clicks. What the hell is knockoff Temu Mr. Beast talking about? No comment. Oh yeah, this is definitely the bottom of the comments. Everyone's just being so negative. Can I get more of the content I clicked for? Less of your face and the corny jokes. Bro, no one's forcing you to watch this content, man. You don't like it? You can leave. The fucking entitlement on some of these internet people is outrageous, bro. I could be on screen the whole goddamn time if I wanted to. And I will. I'm gonna get this to run casual. Watch me, LaMalbox. I'm going to hide this user from my channel. But before I do, I mean, kind of ironically, this actual fucking, this brain dead idiot who wants to actually grief. It's kind of funny that he's the one person not blowing it out of proportion. Yes, people could use my software to train a reinforcement learning bot and then separately use hacks and kind of shove them together. Yes, that is a possibility. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, that will never happen. Yeah, it could happen. But what I'm saying is it can only be worse at killing and griefing than the hard-coded bots. and it takes a lot more development. So again, what is the worst case? Let's say bot hoster sees this video, falls in love with RL because of me. At the absolute best, the most optimized reinforcement learning bot in the world could only be exactly as effective as a hard-coded bot. That's the worst case. I mean, the vast majority of people, by far, understand what this is and what it does because they watched the video. Yeah, anyway, fuck this guy. I don't know what all the hate is with AI. There's different types, and the bots from a year ago weren't even AI. They were botnets flooding servers. Indeed. I mean, the issue is, it doesn't matter what the griefer, what the botnets are using. The problem more so lies in the botnets. Like, even the most ineffective RL agent is still going to be annoying if you spam a server. That's it. That's all the comments. We got through all of them. And 99% of people were just very, very chill. It's a good reminder for me because I tend to harp on the negative. There were so many people who were like, wow, cool video. Hell yeah. I'm going to load our trained demo man. So this whole time I've been talking about comments, our demo men have been training in the background. They finished 2.5 hours maybe. I'm going to load the trained bots and we're going to see. You can see the bots, they're aiming at each other, maybe aiming a little too far down. Oh no, they are definitely aiming too far down. Interesting. I did kind of figure this could happen. So the way the reward works is the same as in the Frederick video. They get a reward based on how close each projectile gets to the target. For Soldier, that has no issues because the rocket will just blow up on contact. But with pipes, what they're actually trying to do is to shoot the pellet as close as possible to the opponent, even though it explodes on a timer. So it's actually too much emphasis on getting the projectile close and not enough emphasis on doing damage. Even the slightest perturbation can totally throw off the training results. So given that this is what the bots are doing, I mean, he's aiming at him when he's close, but then when he's far away, he's aiming at the ground. Honestly, it was a lot of fun. Thanks everyone who posted comments. You guys are cool. And I'm gonna be streaming every week, every Tuesday. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching.